Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another cast, another game, another epic match of TA Escalation goodness. Guys, I really apologize that I have been gone for so long. It has been a minute, and I do feel some remorse for leaving you guys hanging, leaving you in the lurch, in a manner of speaking. I really do enjoy making these casts, and I know you guys miss the cast, and so I do have some good news on that front. I do have some good news. So without going into any specific detail, uh, there have been some really good things happening in my life, and so because of that, I should be able to cast now more frequently. I would like to make a cast every day if I could, or at least several casts a week. So I think just because of what's going on and everything that's happened, I'm in a place now where hopefully I can bring you guys this content more often. And I apologize. My life for the past years has been a complete mess. I've been doing everything I can to try and fix it, but finally at the point, I think, where I can cast more consistently and more regularly, and have a more stable schedule. So, guys, yeah, I do apologize for that. I've been trying. Trust me, I want to cast, but yeah, just look out for more casts. I promise this won't be the last one. We're gonna try to make this a regular occurrence, just because I know you guys really enjoy these, and I'm going to do my best to keep bringing them to you. But enough of that. Let's talk. Let's jump into this game in particular, because this is on a map called Small Siberian Breaks, which I have never cast before. This is on version 9.99. And I think version 10, which is like a huge milestone for TA Escalation, should be coming out around Christmas. So, guys, that's only like a month away. I can't believe we're already in November. Version 10 of TA Escalation, and I know there's going to be some massive changes and goodies that Wotan has been secretly cooking up in his mad lab, under the White House, where he creates these ungodly concoctions of monstrous chaos and insanity. So whatever he's got planned for Escalation 10, we're looking forward to it. But this is on version 9.99, and this map is it's interesting because I think it's called Small Siberian Break, so I think there's a bigger version of this, but this looks like a 3v3 map, and you can see that the bottom half of the map is a landmass, but then you have this giant pool of lava that is separating the two sides, and so the land units will be forced to take the long way around. This red Jeffy looks to be getting at least a couple of mechs kills, being annoying if nothing else, but I'm sure it will be cleaned up eventually, but being a nuisance. But as I was saying, we've got this land bridge once you get past the lava, and so there's going to be battles for the land both underneath and above this volcano, probably. And ooh, look at that T-Rex. That's a kind of an interesting map feature. So there's going to be battles here, and then there's going to be in the north the sea, the water component of this map. And the reason that you would go for the sea, I mean, technically you wouldn't even have to, but the reason you would go for the sea is just because there is a lot of metal and resources under the water, and so that will sort of encourage players to make the plunge and commit themselves to a watery, a salty, if you will, engagement in the at the depths of the sea. So, guys, I've mentioned before many times in my cast that Total Annihilation has the best naval battles of any RTS ever made. Fight me, bro. Fight me. I said it. It is not even close. There's not even a close second. Like, what is the RTS that's second place to Total Annihilation in terms of the sea battles? And you can't say Beyond All Reason or Forge Alliance because those are essentially sequels to Total Annihilation. So this genre has the best naval battles. I honestly think Total Annihilation, the original game that came out in 1997, still has the best naval battles of all of them, including Forge Alliance and Bar. But they all do it pretty well. Like, they all do it better than any other RTS, and it's not close. It's not like second. I don't even know what second place would be, but whatever it is, it's nowhere even in the same plane of existence as TA. So, guys, I have heard that this game is going to deliver the epic sea battle naval action that you all love and crave. I promise you that you will get your naval satisfaction. Because I, the caster, am going to get my satisfaction. And if I get my satisfaction, you're going to get your satisfaction. So please, sit down, make yourself comfortable, get your popcorn, get your pizza, get your alcohol and your coffee and your tea and crumpets and whatever it is that you munch on while you're, witnessing the epic glory of this TA Escalation mayhem unfold. Because I promise you, this is going to be one for the ages. And but right now, we have not even entered into the sea. Tasto actually just now building his first shipyard as I say that. But other than Tasto, the naval component of the game is still relatively untouched. So what we have instead are some battles on the land. Battles mostly on the west side of the map. I still do need to introduce the players, so I will do that in a moment. But I do want to kind of keep you abreast of the current climate of what is happening here on the west side of the landmass, as this LLT will miraculously survive. There's a few javelins and flashes, but it looks like those will be cleaned up pretty efficiently in this. So ultimately, Pink there will he will thwart that. Oh, it looks like Jimmy Fantastic will also be entering the sea at the same time. So, and we also have our first aircraft of the game. So, let me go ahead and introduce the players before we get too much further into the analysis. Here in bright green, we have Mr. Jimmy Fantastic. That could be an alt. I don't know who this is. It might just be one of the euphemisms that these players like to use in place of their real names. Here in pink, we have Dido, who is a Chinese veteran player, very strong late game macro god, of course, and certainly one of our best team game players, I think. Lemon Kainen needs no introduction in yellow. One of the fan favorites on my channel. It is not even a contest. People love this guy, and he always delivers. He's always doing something really funky. So hopefully this game, Lemon Kainen, can give us the juice. You can tell that we're needing something. Our lives are just not really delivering the kind of dopamine sort of rush that's going to give us, what we need to survive. So we're hoping that Lemon Kainen can instead provide us with the digital boost that we need to really enjoy this moment. And already he's on advanced K-bots, so we'll have to see what he does with that. So that is our Western team, or Team 1, who is now being bombed by Mr. Redox. And let me see. I'm going to watch this bombing run a little bit before we go and finish the player introductions. Oh, that's a nice bombing run. He does take out quite a few wind generators. And crucially, there's not much air defense here. Green hasn't built anything, really. There is that one defender, but that will be sniped out of existence. Oh my goodness, this Thunder is really causing all kinds of havoc right now with 22 kills. Oh my god. But Redox is now, he's got Lemminkainen on his doorstep, so he might have to focus on other things. Bomber Micro is impressive, but guys, I missed it. Apparently, Green's shipyard was destroyed. Oh, okay, so Blue, I think what happened here was Blue built some Vikings, or he built some scouts, and he went over here and stopped Green from expanding into the sea. So more on that in a second. I feel like my attention is being pulled in many different directions this game because there's already so much going on, and we're only like 12 minutes into this disaster piece. We have, let's see, 34 kills on this Thunder. It is on a sliver of health, but my god, this thing is a freaking legend. 35 kills before that absolute menace of a god monster is finally deleted. Please don't come back, sir. You are not welcome. Lemminkainen still making the magic happen with these the storms and crashers. And we'll have to see if he causes the Eastern team to crash out. See what I did there? With all of these crashers. But yeah, let me go ahead and good god, there's so much action. I can't focus. Hang on. We've got too much going on here because yeah, there's a lot of things I want to talk about, but I can't because there's too much happening. So Green does bring some warriors into the fray, but those will be cleaned up by the Panthers and the Javelins. So on the Eastern team, we have in red Mr. Redox, who we've talked a little bit about. With one bomber, he got 35 kills, so let's see what he can do with a whole squadron of bombers. That could be impressive. Here in dark green, we have Tar Snake from the good old Tar clan. Who, I love those guys. And represent, I just want to make a call out to Tar Snake here. Let's see if he can... Tar, they typically play their own mod, or they used to play more Protea, but they can play Escalation on occasion. And then here, finally, in blue, we have Tasto. So that is the Eastern team. All the players have been introduced. Finally, we can get to the good stuff. And there's a lot I want to talk about because at the beginning of the game, in the chat, Tasto had actually made mention that taking control of the sea on this map is very, very important because... there's a lot of resources in the sea, obviously, all the extra metal that you can glean from having control of that northern sector of the map. But also, being in the sea gives you other opportunities. You can see he's already building some floating metal makers. Tidal is plus 26 energy per second squared. So that is quite a bit of energy that will be allotted to any player that decides to invest in this form of clean energy. And so I do think that Tasto making this comment early on that it is crucial to take control of the sea here. You can see that he's patrolling, emphasis on the second half of that. He's patrolling the western shore, preventing anyone on Team 1 from entering into the naval battlements, as it were. So that is an interesting observation that Tasto made, that whoever can take control of the sea will have an advantage on this map. There is so much metal under the water, and also, like I said, access to the titles. And then once you get into advanced shipyards, you can begin to shell your opponents with the battleships and the vertical missile launchers like the Ranger ships. So there's opportunities to even shell your opponents off the shore and to create kind of a beachhead situation where you can then land your units. If you have hovercraft or transports, you could then use these beaches once you've taken control of the sea. So lots of opportunities once you have the water. Now here's the problem. Wait. For some reason, the sonar command is not working, and that command is also not working. But just to give you a brief overview of what's under the sea, I will switch to Blue's perspective. So right now, in terms of the sonar situation, it's just mostly metal extractors under the water. There's no submarines yet, nor would there need to be because Blue is the only one in the water. So let's focus our attention again on the western side of the map. Redox with another bombing run. And once again, being a frustrating presence, causing all kinds of economic harm and damage. But on the other side, we have Lemminkainen with his pyros moving into position to engage the Eastern team's resources. He's already taken out a Geo, now working on metal extractors. There are Bulldogs coming into the fray, but ultimately Lemminkainen getting a lot done with his pyros. These Panthers also making a pretty decent headway into Pink's base, getting all the way into the back. This Moho extractor is in danger. So both teams doing a really decent job. Surprisingly, oh my god, what is going on? These pyros are targeting Dark Green's commander, and he's below half health. He will get a good D-gun there, and this last pyro is unlikely to finish him off just because there are quite a few Bulldogs and Panthers. But there are more pyros streaming in as we speak, and so, I mean, Dark Green has to be really careful. It is... Guys, I will say, like, on a map like this, it's a little surprising that at the 20-minute mark, there is so much leaking through on either side. You know, Lemminkainen has gotten his pyros through, and then here on the west, there was a breakthrough of the Panther spam, and so that, guys, that is a little bit surprising to me, just because of the fact that on a map like this, you would think that this. The entrances would already be choke pointed off with defenses. And, you know, both teams are doing that slowly. You know, Green has built walls of LLTs. And there are a couple here on the east side. But ultimately, it's not... There's a lot of holes. There's still a lot of ways to break through on both sides. So... yeah, it is a little bit shocking that we still have so many ways to just sneak into the enemy base at this point in the game, as both teams are sort of pulled in many different directions in terms of their tech. As you can see, both blue and red have gone into air, so that will be a huge investment that's going to prevent them from being as present on the ground. In fact, red is also on air, so let me see. Okay, no, Dark Green, it looks like so far he's only on heavy vehicles for arm, but yeah, it's interesting that neither team has really fortified their section of the map that well, but I'm sure we will eventually get there. Surprisingly, on the West team, I have not seen any commitment into air at all. That is a little bit shocking. And okay, we do have one aircraft plant, but it's not even being assisted. This is just a very low commitment into air on the west side. So, as this game progresses, we will see what tech choices. So, guys, part of the reason I really like this map is because there are so many opportunities for the players to be creative in their army design and their tech design. So you obviously you can go air. Air will allow you to bypass the lava here. You could just go ground, as some of the players have, just going into T2 Fidos and Bulldogs and Pyros. You can go into the sea, as Tasto has, and then that will give you access to resources that you wouldn't have otherwise. You can also go hovercraft. Hovercraft are a decent option on this map because you can avoid all of the land-based defenses and units and sneak around, like I said before, and make landfall onto the enemy side of the map. So there's tons of opportunities on a map like this to be creative and to take advantage of the versatility that TA Escalation offers the players in terms of the unit compositions and techs that you can build. But yeah, right now the Western team, they are on the aggressive, or they are making a push. Mostly Fidos right now, nothing too extraordinary. But one thing I want to say is I do think the Eastern team at this point does have the advantage, because even if they are slightly losing the land battle and they're falling behind, you know, in terms of this war on the ground, the problem is that Blue has complete control of the sea, and because of that, he has all of this extra resources. Like, if you look at the map, we have blue everywhere up here. Okay, interesting. So Tasto is asking, or he's telling his team he can make a galactic gate to teleport units to the top. So what I'm saying is, if the Eastern team can hold on for long enough, and if they can maintain this massive economic advantage, like, look at Tasto's eco. He's at 138. He's way above everyone else, you know, and that's just because he has the whole sea to himself. If they can hold on long enough for Tasto's economic advantage to simply explode, and for the Eastern team to just overwhelm their opponents with sheer macro, then I think the Eastern team can take it. But in the meantime, because of all the investment that Tasto has put into the water, into Naval, for example, he's building warlords, and that is not cheap. Let's see how much metal a warlord costs. A warlord costs 7,000 metal and about 150,000 energy. So yeah, it's like Tasto is investing most of his resources right now into the naval game, and for now, that's kind of useless to his team in terms of map control. But it will eventually pay off. Red is sending more scouts. He wants to see what is going on the western side. It doesn't look like he has any other bombing runs planned, but that could change if he decides to go into advanced air. So we have some Mavericks here by Green. Unfortunately, with the Bulldogs, I don't know if the Mavericks are going to get much done. They will probably kill this Bulldog, but then be cleaned up. So there are sumos. These are the upgraded sumos with the triple barrels being added into the fray as well. So the Western team is poised to make a very dangerous and potentially devastating push into the east side of the map, but if the east side can just hold on long enough, I think Blue might be able to take over the game single-handedly. But hold that thought, because Green has now entered into the sea with his Pelicans, and these are going to be a huge problem for Tasto. I don't think Tasto was really ready for this. I don't think Tasto was really prepared for the Pelicans to, and he is sending some fighters to try and contain this. He definitely needs to respond. There are units that can deal with Pelicans, but he doesn't currently have them Even battleships are probably not the best option. So yeah, the Pelicans are a nuisance, and they are going to contest Taisto's control of the sea. But in the meantime, my friends, the Western team has begun their deadly and devastating push of sumos and Fidos. And this could literally be game-ending. I'm not exaggerating. The triple-barrel sumos are incredibly powerful. At a certain stage of the game, they're nearly unstoppable. They're a terrifying combination of speed, health, range, and damage. I mean, they're kind of everything and all in one neat package of god-tier destruction. The only real drawback is obviously they're expensive and they're kind of slow, but they don't seem that slow. I mean, they're moving at pace down the eastern coast, the lava coast. So yeah, the Eastern team's got to do something here. Like, we're probably going to need a D-gun because these sumos are nearly uncontested. Finally, the Pelicans will meet the first Warlord. But like I said before, the Warlord is not really the ideal counter to these because they can simply surround it. As you can see, with good micro, the Warlord... Look, its cannon is literally facing into the sky. Now, luckily, the Warlord does have the green laser, and so that will offer it some protection, and these Pelicans will be cleaned up. But for how long, I don't know. He may be working on more. But we're going to keep our eye on the action on the east side, as these sumos have made it all the way nearly into Redox base. And that is it's scary for a red player. However, Redox has built the triple barrel bulldogs. Those will be a threat to the sumos, if not a counter. I wouldn't say the bulldogs are a counter. The sumos are still going to outrange them and have more health and damage. So even with triple barrel bulldogs, Red potentially in trouble. He needs an answer. He's got to react, whether he wants to cloak his commander and try to get a D-gun or what. But yeah, you can just see the procession, the line of units that are just streaming into the Eastern team's base. This has to be dealt with. Redox now complaining about balance. I would spend less time thinking about balance and more time considering how in the hell he's going to survive Lemminkainen bearing down on his main base in such a disrespectful and unceremonious fashion. Redox is dead. Yeah, Redox will be taken out. Those triple barrel sumos just entering the game at the perfect time that the Eastern team was not ready to stop them. So now it is a 2v3 situation. However, Taisto had some crocs. You know, like I said before, this was Taisto's strategy from the very beginning. He was going to take control of the sea, and now he is using that advantage to build these amphibious units and make landfall here on the west side. So despite the fact that Red is dead, the Eastern team is not out yet. There is... Okay. Mr. Tarsnake has just cloaked. He's got to get a good D-gun here. It's the only way to survive. He's got to have some legendary D-guns, because the Eastern team is just eviscerating everything that is on the land. I mean, Red's entire base is gone. Dark Green's base is being essentially erased from existence. And the only thing left here is Dark Green's commander, as, man, this entire base is just being eviscerated. It's just being decimated from every side. And Snake doing everything he can to try and hang on here, but oh no. Okay, well that was a good D-gun. He does kill a single sumo, but I think there's just too much. No amount of nano blocking in the world. Oh my goodness, he is doing an amazing job of hanging on here. but I just don't think it matters. So now it is a 1v3 with Tasto trying to hold on for dear life. But still, he is on the west side with those Crocs streaming in. The Pelicans continuing to try and defend the land. We have the Warlord and the Hydras off the coast, providing some long-range bombardment and fire support. But guys, I don't know. It's 1v3 now. It is 1v3. Tasto's two allies have died. It does look like perhaps he may have just enough to hang on. But I don't know. I don't know, my friends. It is 1v3, and that is never easy. More Pelicans. The single Warlord. 20 kills already. Very impressive. Tasto, like I said, continuing to produce the Crocs. He has a submarine pin, guys. And the cool thing about the submarine pin is that it can build amphibious units like the Gimp or the Croc. And so we don't see these very often in a real game. So it is interesting to see Tasto taking advantage of this technology to try and apply pressure on his opponents, especially now that he's 1v3. He really needs to. He cannot just defend. He has to take control of this game if he wants any chance of overcoming this massive disadvantage that he is currently at. But he's doing okay. Like, again, he has the entire north part of the map. Now, guys, like I said before, if the Eastern team could have held on for long enough, Tasto would have just taken over the game by himself, just because economically he's so far ahead of everyone else. But the Western team understood that because Tasto has control of the sea, they have to break through and punish his allies. Otherwise, the game just would have become impossible. So the Western team doing it exactly how they have to do it. Understanding that Tasto has invested most of his resources into the naval game plan, and he was contributing almost nothing to that battle. And so it was effectively a 2v3 on the ground. That's why the Western team was able to push through and kill Redox and Snake. Uh-oh. Don't tell me it's going to crash. Oh, no, man. Okay, well, it did crash, but hopefully we can get back to where we were, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, my friends, we are back at roughly the same point we were at the replay. It crashed like 5 more times, and I had to do all kinds of magic to even get it to work. But basically, all that you missed is the Western team attempted a push onto Tasto. They ran into his defenses, and then he had a ton of sumos and Reapers and such, and so he has been able to push them back. This has been quite a miraculous game by Tasto. The fact that he is literally 1v3ing right now, like this would be like one of the most incredible 1v3 type situations we've ever seen. The Western team did everything right in attempting to kill Tasto's teammates as early as possible, and they did, and it still seems like Tasto is, despite every disadvantage, finding a way to claw his way out of a horrifying situation. Like, not that long ago, his base was in serious trouble. He had all 3 players putting pressure on him, but now working on an anti-nuke, working on an Ultra K-Bot gantry, and really making the game his own. And of course, he's still been here, let me do the sonar command. He's still been building all these Crocs. So Tasto is really coming into his own in this game. Despite the fact that it's a 1v3, he's economically very far ahead. He's got 300 metal per second and 10,000 energy. The closest second is Lemminkainen with only half of his metal. So maybe all 3 players on the Western team combined have more income than him. But he is, like I said earlier, he's just going to take over this game. It's just going to be nasty. And already applying so much pressure. I love what Tasto is doing, guys. Like, Tasto had a plan from the beginning of this game. Like, literally within the first 30 seconds, he wrote in the chat, you know, I'm going to fight for the sea. If we can get control of the sea, then we can win. And he has just stayed true to that strategy, just truly embracing everything that makes this strategy so effective, including even using the submarine pin, which I don't think I've even seen in a real game. Like, so this is Tasto really pulling out all the stops and being very, very creative in this game with his use of not only his use of Hydras and Warlords to clear the coast, but then his use of submarine pins to create these crocs, which I think were recently buffed. Now he's bringing rapiers into the fray, just combining it all. It is a beautiful symphony orchestra, my friends. We've got the sea, we've got the land, and now we've got the air. Tasto bringing every resource to bear. He is an absolute monster, just picking apart the enemy team 1v3. They can't stop him. He's coming from the north. He's coming from the east. He is coming into your dreams. And I do mean that both metaphorically, you know, in every different way. He is having his way with the Western team right now, just bringing an entire army of sumos and reapers, let's see, what is this thing? Yeah, Mantis. He's even got anti-air in here, so his bases are covered. I can't believe that Lemminkainen doesn't really have enough here to stop this. Lemminkainen was busy attacking that, or stopping that force of crocs in the north, and that diversion looks to have been extremely successful because now the gate is open. The Ultra K-Bot gantry is exposed. A Talos has been completed, but too little too late. That Ultra K-Bot gantry is certainly going to die, and the Western team is certainly going to panic, as Tasto is now on their doorstep, haunting their ever-loving dreams. Oh my god, Tasto, you absolute monster, and now bringing even more crocs down. The pressure is just tremendous. What an impressive play. And guys, like, this is why I love Naval in TA Escalation, because winning the sea is not just winning the sea. You know, in a lot of other RTS games, if they even have Naval, like StarCraft doesn't even have Naval. But even if these other games have Naval is usually just confined to the sea, right? So you can take over the water, but then you're just stuck in the water. Like Red Alert, you know, any of the Command and Conquer games, like, okay, you've got control of the sea, and now what? Like, it's worthless because you can't really convert that into a victory. But in Escalation, look at this. You know, you've got these submarine pins that can spawn the crocs, and you've got these long-range warlords and hydras and other support ships that can just shell your opponents from the shore, so you can create beachheads. It's just so cool, like all of the unique and amazing things you can do in this mod that you just cannot do in any other RTS. Like, literally, name another RTS that you can do this. What is the other RTS where you can take over the sea and then build factories under the water, and then build amphibious units from the factories, which then crawl up onto the land, and then, you know, and now he's got his commander over here. He's used this galactic gate, so now he's building K-Bot labs on the beachhead. The Western team is just so screwed. Guys, Tasto really, MVP here by far, just 1v3ing his opponents. You know, like, guys, I said earlier on, Tasto just needs time. and he will come out victorious just because of this massive economic lead. He had a strategy from the very first moment to go into the water, and I don't think I've ever seen a player 1v3 from the water. Like, that's unheard of. So this game is a great representation of just how powerful the sea can be when utilized fully. I mean, he's got seaplane platforms, he's got submarine pens, he just finished this ultra seaplane platform, he's got the advanced seaplane platforms, he's got obviously shipyards, he's got all kinds of the floating metal makers and underwater fusion plants and underwater moho mines, and just absolutely milking this advantage for everything it's worth, not leaving a single ounce of potential untouched. Oh my god, and now bringing the rapiers in to tar and feather his poor, miserable opponents. Now with harpies even coming in with the harpies, these must have... Oh, did he build a T3 aircraft? Oh, I'm not sure where those harpies are coming from unless the ultra seaplane platform can build those. Oh, they can. Wow, so the ultra seaplane platform can build harpies. Well, you live and you learn. TIL, my friends. The more you know. The more you know, and I think the Western team knows that they are utterly screwed. Utterly screwed. Lemminkainen picking his commander up in a transport and trying one last desperate attempt. But I don't think Lemminkainen is aware that Taisto's commander is on the west. Yeah, Lemminkainen was trying to get his commander, but he doesn't realize that his commander's over here in the least expected place possible. He's on their shore. What a game by Taisto. What a plan. Like, Taisto just had a master plan, and he executed it to utter perfection. Even sacrificing his teammates like chess pieces, like pawns. You know, Taisto's teammates were just pawns to be sacrificed so that he could win the glory. What a game, guys. What a game, and what an amazing, excellent demonstration of what is possible with the naval component, and really of TA Escalation. You cannot do this even in the other mods. So thank you everyone for watching, and I promise we will see you in the next cast very soon.